Hey everybody, it's Risa from Hudson Valley Vintage, and I'm back for part 2 of our loom knitting lesson. If you joined us the last time, then you know that what I did was show you how to cast on and do the actual knitting part. So I have my, actually this is a little thicker than a regular scarf. This is more like a shawl. I think I'm making this as a gift. I'm not 100% sure yet. But anyway, I've left a little bit of yarn. I don't really need this much, but I didn't have enough to do another row. And I have taken my lower loops and put them over my top loops, my other loops. You'll know what I'm talking about once you see the first one. So I have 3 things that I need for this. One is my scissors. I need a needle, and you want a needle that specifically the yarn can go through. I'm using bulky yarn. And you need your picker, which most of these looms come with. If not, I've heard you can even get these at the dollar store. They're very inexpensive. Okay, so what do I have going on here? So I have stitches on both sides. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take my stitches from the far side and move them over to the close side. So I'm going to use my picker to just pull the stitch off of one side and put it on the close side. So I'm taking, you're going to use your picker and your fingers. So I'm pulling it off of that peg and pulling it onto that one. So I'm just going to go through the whole thing and do that. Okay, so now we have 2 rows and they're all on one side. I have 1 row of posts that are completely empty, and now we have 2 on this side, 2 stitches. So whichever side you have your working yarn on, you're going to start on the opposite side. So now I'm going to take my my bottom stitch and pull it over my top stitch, just like we did throughout this process. So now I'm going to repeat what I said before. At this point, whichever side your working yarn is on, you're going to start on the opposite side. So our working yarn here is on the right, so we're going to start all the way on the left, and we're going to do something that I've heard it called a couple different names, but the way that I remembered it was left over right. So we're going to go left. So I'm going to go to the last 2, take the one on the right, and I'm going to go move it to the left. Then I'm going to take the bottom one and go over. And then I'm going to take the stitch remaining and move it to the right. So, left, over, and right. And if you can see here, it's finishing the end of the scarf. So let's do it again. And you'll see that as you're doing it, your scarf is literally coming off of the loom. So we're basically finishing it and taking it off of the loom at the same time. So we only have 2 stitches left. So we're going to take the one all the way from the right and we're going to go left. Over. Now I really don't need to move this to the right. It doesn't really matter because it's the last stitch. So what I'm going to do, let me cut a little bit of this. This is the end of my yarn. Before I take it off, I'm gonna just get myself prepared. I'm gonna just cut this off here, and I am going to put some yarn on my needle, and this is the end. So now what I'm gonna do is take this off of the loom, and I'm gonna just take this and put it right through my last hoop. And let me get rid of my loom so you can see better. Okay, so we're off the loom. We're freestyling now. So now we've just pulled this through the last loop. So I have my large needle, and I am going to take the needle and just go through right under the top stitches, just a little bit, just pull that through. You don't want to pull it too tight because you want these, you know, these sides to match. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, not in exactly the same spot because I don't want to undo it. So I'm just going to go a drop lower and pull it through again. And then I'm going to take my scissor and just cut it. And that's it. So that is finished. And then on the other side, where I started, I am gonna undo my knot and just do the same thing with the yarn that was left over from the other side. You wanna make sure you use a thick enough needle that your yarn will go through it. So here I'm just gonna go right under those top. Now there may be other ways to end this, but this is I looked at lots of tutorials and this was the one that made the most sense to me, so. Just go back again. And then I'm just gonna go through a third time. And then I'm just gonna cut it. And that's it. Ta-da! So that's it. So one more thing, I did get a lot of questions asking how to join yarn together. So this took 2 skeins. So you do have to join the yarn when you have, when you're adding another skein or you're changing the color. So I did a little research and I found out for me, This is all just for me. The easiest way to do this was by using what's called a square knot. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So let's pretend that these are two different balls of yarn. So we have a right side and a left side. All right, I'm going to take the right one and go underneath the left one. Okay, so now my left one is actually on my right side. So I'm going to take my left one and go under the right one. So can you kind of see why it's called a square knot? Mm-hmm. And then I'm just going to pull it really tight. And you really, really cannot pull this out. I've tried other kinds of knots that I've done before, and they can be pulled out. This just doesn't come out. And then you're going to take your scissor and you're going to go as close as you can without obviously cutting the knot. And that's it. And then you would just start knitting the new yarn in. So that's it. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Take care.